the biggest and best Pitt alum and fan anywhere, the great Doc Rick Gradizak, who just played golf here. How was the course?
The course is in good shape. Green's looking good for March 23rd.
And Greg Dellis from Vantage Management Group, always with us at the club at Shadow Lake. Still to come, Dirk Hartman, their pro, talking Shadow Lakes and Oakmont. But right now, the possibilities to replace Jamie Dixon. We know Sean and Archie Miller are out. What about Greg Marshall of Wichita State?
I think he's a great candidate, but I think he's looking for somewhere in the Midwest future like Louisville.
Solid basketball coach. We've seen him before. We have experience with him in the Pittsburgh area, and he's coached against us and been successful against Pitt, which is something that maybe he's laid down the groundwork there. He'd be an interesting candidate. I just don't know if he's the splash candidate that Scott Barnes is looking for.
He's had the Shockers in the tournament 5 straight years. Andy Enfield of USC, third year, got into the tournament. What do you think?
We talked about him a little bit earlier, and I just think the fact that he put Florida Gulf Coast on the map surprised everybody in that one tournament. He's made it elevated USC, but that means he's going East Coast, West Coast, East Coast. I'm a little bit leery about that jumping around.
I'm sure you would remember this, Rob. Isn't he the guy with the really good-looking wife that made all the inroads at the tournament?
Why would I remember that?
I just figured it would be something.
All right, what do you think?
Bring him here.
All right, next one, Brandon Knight, all Pitt all the time, number 20 during his playing days, 99 to 03, but he's only 34. Is he ready for the job?
I think he's a very solid candidate to look at. Scott Barnes, and we'll be able to interview him very easily. He's right there in the Pete, and I know Brandon's a Pitt guy. I love him to death, and I would have no problem with him.
He would be a great guy. Maybe he needs to be the next guy, though. Go out somewhere else, get a head coaching job, maybe in a MAC, something like that. And when the next guy comes in and then takes his jump to another program, then Brandon would be there. He needs some head coaching experience.
From Harvard, Tommy Amaker, who played at Duke. He knows the ACC, and he was an assistant with Coach K.
You talk about a resume, Tommy Amaker's done it all. But he'd be a great choice, be a great hire. Again, what is in the back? Where is his ultimate goal? Is it Duke? But I mean, Tommy Amaker has all the qualities.
He's Brandon Knight down the road. He's a guy who's really smart, good point guard when he played, and now has the experience in the head coaching part of it. And he can bring that intelligent type kid up that he always had at Harvard. He can go bring those guys into Pitt.
All right, here we go. Sweet 16. Up first, North Carolina, Indiana. Friday night just before 10, TBS. Who do you like?
I got Carolina winning my pool all the way, so I watched them down at the ACC tournament. They ramped it up a notch, and I got Carolina.
I'm going to jump on the Hoosiers. I really like the way they played against Kentucky, and I'd like to see them try to continue that. Although I have become an ACC fan, I have to admit, but I kind of like Indiana now.
All right, up next, it's Kansas, top seed in the tournament, taking on Maryland Thursday night, a little after 9:30, CBS, KDK, TV2. Who do you like?
I think this is one of those Kansas teams that really has all the talent they had in the past. Maryland, I really liked them early in the year. They've had a few bumps in the road, so I'm thinking Kansas is going to win.
I've been on Maryland from the beginning, and they did hit some very big bumps, but I think they can rekindle what they had going on earlier in the year. I like what they bring to the table. I like Maryland in that one.
Friday night, a little after 7, CBS, KDKA, TV2, Virginia, Iowa State.
Virginia plays the way Pitt used to play. I like Tony Bennett, great coach, and they're solid. They've got a pro in Brogdon, so Virginia.
Yeah, I love the way that they play defense. Look for that one to be scoring in the 60s, and I like their chances.
All right, up next, it's Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Friday night TBS, just before 7:30. Love the Irish. Who do you like?
You're saying pick a winner, and if Darius Jackson plays the way he does against Pitt, he's a point guard that makes a difference. He's a pro point guard, and for all my good Notre Dame friends, I'm picking Notre Dame.
I jumped on a bandwagon with Wisconsin once they knocked our Panthers out, and I got to stick with that. They do play some pretty good defense. It wasn't all about Pitt being that bad. There was a team playing defense against them the other night, and I think that may be what we run into here. I like Wisconsin a little bit.
All right, it's Oregon and it's Duke. Who doesn't like Coach K other than Greg Diolis? It's a little before 7:30, and it will be seen on TV. No, it's a little after 10, and it's going to be on TBS. Who do you like?
I'm thinking Oregon, with all their talent, they've proven that they've won a pretty tough conference in the Pac-12, and I'm thinking that Duke doesn't have enough on the bench. They've got some injuries, so I'm going Oregon.
I'm going to give deference to Rob. He loves Coach Krzyzewski and those guys.
I do.
I'm going to root for the Dukies in that one just because I think for a time I'll be on his side.
Hey, we beat them.
Yeah,
that's not hey.
Go ahead. It's okay if Pitt beats them. All right, it is Villanova, Miami up next. Thursday, 7:10, CBS, KDKA, TV2. I love Coach Wright. I love Villanova, but you like Miami.
I like Miami. The coach down there has turned them around. Rodriguez, the point guard, is the real deal. The big man underneath, he makes the difference. And Miami has athleticism. Nothing against Villanova. They're playing solid basketball, but Miami went through the ACC.
Jimmy Larranaga is a guy who gives evidence to something that Pitt's going to try to latch on to, perhaps. And that's a guy who maybe wasn't a big name, but got real hot when he was at George Mason. All of a sudden, boom, he got hot, and then got that job and really was able to elevate the Miami program to one of the best in the country now.
Oklahoma, Texas A&M Thursday, a little after 7:30 TBS.
Well, I think Texas A&M ran the gauntlet that last game when they pulled it out in the last minute, down 12. I like Oklahoma. I like Buddy Held, so I think they're the team I'm picking.
I do like Oklahoma. I think, but they're a one-trick pony. They've got Big Buddy, and that's all they've got. And I like the little hidden vigorous kind of thing that Texas A&M has, in the fact that, look, all of a sudden, guys, we should have been out of this thing. Now we're playing with house money. So I kind of like I'm jumping on with Texas A&M.
Last game, upstart story thus far, I believe, of the tourney. Syracuse Gonzaga. That's at 9:40 CBS, KDK TV2. But you think the Orangemen and the Buck stops here?
I like Gonzaga. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of height. They're well coached, and we beat Syracuse 3 times.
Well, I'm going all about Gonzaga, and I'm right with you. And I'll get the violin out for Rob's favorite man,
Jimmy Boeheim.
Jimmy Boeheim, and he'll whine all the way back to Syracuse after the game's over.
Listen, before we go, the Pitt Dental School, the greatest dental school on the planet. In my phone, my smartphone, there's probably 24 of you fine folks. Brag a little bit about that great dental school at the University of Pittsburgh.
You know, it is a very good dental school. Dr. Braun is now the dean. I had him as one of my oral surgery instructors. They have revamped and gone into the clinic. We're now state of the art. And yes, as a local guy, the University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine is top notch.
Get a close up on this, Dale. Dale Cummings shooting our video tonight. See these teeth? Dan Fatuch, Dr. Zamorella, and Cliff Dietz. Thank you all very much.
Keep smiling.
That's right. But now, just in case, I need a filling back here. All right. Have a great night. Up next, we're going to talk to Dirk Hartman. We're going to go Shadow Lakes, Oakmont. Shadow Lake, Oakmont. Don't miss it. Next.